now that we are actually working mainly in Africa and particularly in Rwanda, where there's an absolutely amazing ecosystem that is supportive of this digital transition and innovation-based and knowledge-based economy, is that here the opportunity is even bigger than what we've seen globally in developed markets. It's bigger simply because we're operating in a place where you see really potentials for leapfrog growth.
I think we should not underestimate the fantastic opportunities we have here in Africa, that you have in Africa. I left Sweden, where we just printed the new design on our bills. And I told them, hey guys, I'm going to go to Africa, and I wonder which country in the world will be the first without coins and bills, because they have digital wallets.
But the fact is that local entrepreneurs and local talent really have the knowledge that's required to tailor the solutions for this context. So I guess I would just encourage the entrepreneurs out there to continue to use the internet and digital to create solutions that meet the needs of their communities.
Why don't we do the following? Rwanda has probably the best fiber optic network in all Africa. More than 3,000 kilometers of fiber optic in a country that is no more than 250 kilometers wide. The fiber optic goes all over the place, and within the next 2 years, we will have 4G cellular network. So why don't we do this? Why don't we ask the telco companies that anybody who use that network to access local content inside Rwanda, which would be like an intranet, you don't charge for the telco, for the network. You only charge for the network when they go outside of Rwanda, access non-Rwandan or non-African content, for example, in America. That would help local content providers developing this.
I think the time is right and the time is now for us to work together in partnerships and collaboratively, and not just in the health sector, but in other sectors across Eastern Africa. And I think the conference here is a great platform for us to work together to do that.
This should be an interesting discussion. As to the question, where is the money? I think with technology, with human capital, and also with innovation, the money is there.
When you talk about innovation, everybody almost thinks about IT. Innovation is actually providing solutions to our problems. Now, for those solutions to be able to be facilitated, we had to make sure that the first thing that we establish an innovation fund, which we are doing together with the Africa Development Bank, of which we actually are trying to see how we can make it one of the biggest in Africa.
I mean, if you look at some of the developing economies that we have in the world today, what is actually creating more growth in those economies is entrepreneurship. Is the ability to take an idea, the Facebook of this world, the Google of this world, the Dropbox of this world. These are very young people who take the idea to market. And that's what we want to see in Africa. We want, in a few years to come, that we're able to have an African company that can compete globally, and also an African company that can compete regionally.
In some ways, we're preaching to the choir here. We're speaking to people who want to see this transformation and understand the role that ICTs and indeed the internet can play. But I want to see a mindset across the continent, especially with those key decision makers.
The key headline for me is that Africa's young innovators have the future to grab. For me, I hope that everyone who listens to a panel, who engages with the guests and participants here, go away feeling that they can do something and that they feel empowered with practical ways of forging their startups and businesses forward in this environment.
This type of forum brings together the best minds to talk about great challenges and to find common solutions in order to succeed into the reduction of inequalities in the world. And through technology, now 95% of the world has a connection. This is the ideal platform and format to do it.